Hello everyone, welcome to this new video where we're talking about the Lunar Authority. So hello to the 1% of humanity who are reflectors and therefore have the very super rare authority, the Lunar Authority. So the common advice for you guys is to wait a full lunar circle, so about a month, to make decisions. And now you think, haha, Tara, that's funny. I can't wait a month to decide what I should eat for lunch today. So that's why I want to explain to you why your authority is described like that, and I will give my best. But as I am the energetic opposite to you, I can only share what I know from talking to reflectors. Actually, I know a few of them and what literature taught me about you guys. But here in this area, it's really hard for me to speak from experience. I hope you forgive me that. So, first, why is the advice to wait a full lunar circle? As a reflector, you don't have any centers defined. That means you accelerate and reflect the energy of the people around you all the time, and you almost bring no distinct energy, at least not from the centers, to the table. Of course you have your gates, and that's important to say now, I will make a video in which I talk about the placements like the sun, the earth, the north nodes, all the other planets, because for you guys it's really crucial to understand the nitty-gritty, the details about your chart. So not only which gates are activated, but also in which placement. Like, is this gate activated 3 times in your conscious Mars? Maybe we need to take a closer look at those 3 and what implications we have, because it's in the conscious Mars. So I make a video and I link it down below or here or somewhere where I explain all the placements, so you can go into depth about your chart right immediately after this video. As for you guys, it comes down to knowing your energy, as it is you're more the room than what happens in the room. You reflect and you really accelerate what happens in the room. But of course you have your own unique energy as well. But you have to imagine it like being very delicate. It's like in a fine dining restaurant. It's like these small portions, they taste so intriguingly good. But they are small. They are very fine, but at the same time, because of that, very distinct. So click that right after this video, watch that after this video. When the moon makes a full cycle, you experience a lot of different energies because of the transits. So what are the transits? If a child is born now, their chart will look like the chart that we have right now. But not only is a chart important to define the whole energetic system of a human at the moment of birth, but we are always, like all of us, influenced by the stars, because I think I did not upload it yet. I will soon, probably, or I will make a new one talking about why astrology and human design even works, because it's all based in neutrinos and they come from the stars. So they're literal particles from the stars present here in this room and in your room as well. And these particles are shaping the energetic weather. So we all know, like maybe not all of us, but you reflector, you definitely feel the vibe of the earth, the energetic weather of the stars. You definitely feel the energetic weather and energy people bring into a room when they enter your space, your auric field. So by waiting a full lunar cycle around 30 days, you experience a whole lot of different kind of energies from the stars. And that should help you to find what's truly yours. Imagine you have to make a big decision and you actually have a month to think about it. Maybe in the first few days you feel it's about if you're gonna participate in a marathon. I love that example. I do that all the time. So in the first few days you feel so motivated. You really want to do it. You feel like you could do an Ironman right after it because you just feel so energetic. Probably the moon at that time was in Capricorn, or the sun activated a gate, so your sacral center all of a sudden is defined. So you feel like as if you have too much energy, you are outbursting with energy, and so you're super motivated to participate in this marathon. But then the moon wanders into Pisces, and all of a sudden you don't feel like running anymore. You feel very artistic, a bit sleepy. I mean, I'm aware that I'm drawing stereotypes here, but just for the sake of this metaphor. And then you don't feel like doing that marathon again, and you really don't want to do it. And then the moon goes into Aries, and then all of a sudden you feel that this idea, it hits such a spark and you really want to do it, and so on. So you see that the moon probably influences a lot how you feel about things. And in this example, you really felt the way the moon implied. But imagine another example where even though you wait through a whole month and you even experience, for example, Taurus energy, very stable, slow energy, but you really feel the push to do something still, this might be something you need to actually do the way you think of it. So this waiting should give you data. And it's important, or it can be helpful, to journal your process and to be really outcome open, because because of conditioning or other influences from the outside, if you have set your mind onto something and you're not open to actually perceive what's good for you, you sabotage yourself. So please be open to any outcome and journal. And if you feel like it, and if you want to nerd yourself into that, you can check the chart of the moment astrologically, or the human design chart of the moment, and you can take a look. Okay, I'm having so many thoughts today. Oh, obvious. Like there is a gate that defines my ajna, or just by definition of the moment, the head and the ajna center are defined. So then you can know, these may not be my actual thoughts, or these are my actual thoughts but heightened because of the astrological weather, of the neutrino energetic weather. This energy is pushed. So we really want to have this time to observe ourselves and really get to know how you, for example, react to different phases of the moon. Maybe you feel different at new moon compared to full moon. This is like all study. I think reflectors have the opportunity to learn a lot about themselves by learning about energetics in general. Because if you really know, if you want to find something very thin in a jungle, if you study and you know the jungle very well, you will find it faster. If you get what I mean. Also with people have distinct energies, and I wish for you that you have the opportunity to check the charts of the people closest to you, because then you will know, oh, with that person my G center always gets defined, and then I feel a strong sense of self. Or when I'm with that person, they have a strong defined emotional solar plexus, so I might not feel my own feelings when I'm with them. So you learn to read the energy in the room, read the energy of the people, read the energy of the cosmos, in order to subtract all that information to come to yourself. That sounds very complex and complicated. I hope you feel motivated and curious, not overwhelmed. But I will give you an easy way if you're not that type of person who likes to study and learn and focus about a lot of information. I had a friend who was a reflector, and they have been very into all sorts of trauma work and psychology and spirituality, and they did know that they were a reflector, but they did not study human design. And what I learned from them was that all the work you do in terms of consciousness will benefit your ability to make decisions. And I don't know if there is an appropriate English word, but in German he always said, yeah, this is stimmig. Stimmig means something like it's meant to be like that. They were really aware of flow. Do you know the feeling when you just start your day and you do something and everything just falls into place and everything's so easy and makes sense, and it takes no effort to create or do whatever, and miracles happens? That's stimmig. It's meant to be like that, and it's effortless. And then there are days everything you try, everything fails, like nothing is working. It's like life is walking against you. Then it's not stimmig, it's not meant to be like that. And they were super aware of this whole flow of life, and by being in tune with the whole flow of life in groups, in career, in family, in everything, they were able to navigate themselves, because they always went with what felt like meant to be like that, which was always flowy, without hiccups, without hurdles. Yeah. And as we are talking about them, I want to give you a taste, because I know some reflectors that really struggle, really struggle in this world, because imagine being an energetic being that only 1% of the world is. That's obviously very hard, because nobody can tell you how to do it, and all the advice that works for others won't work for you. And yeah, and also you guys are so in tune with the whole being of life, with earth, with humanity, and I know you feel the pain of humanity and of maybe of the animals and plants and of earth and creation itself. You feel that, and you're so connected to it, and therefore we as in human design say that you really show us how our world is, because you reflect our world, and it can be hard. But that's why I want to, just because I feel it can be empowering for you. I want to tell you what I found about that other specific reflector who did a lot of work already, what their superpower was, their unique reflector superpower, because maybe it inspires you. They were able to contain and facilitate the biggest growth of people. So when they would give a workshop, they would just enter the room, and by just entering the room, almost everybody already started to cry and face their demons and like everything. It was because their emptiness somehow pushes you to see beyond your normal boundaries. And of course, you guys, you're not empty, full of, completely empty, but you're emptier than anyone. And if your unique self, so your gates and your personality and your being and your energetic system is very high frequency, very developed, this room, it's a catalysator. They try to do, I guess, like around 5 or 6 exercises with us, and they could only do 1 or 2 because people were already going through hell and heaven, crying and sobbing and screaming and loosening up their heavy knots in their brains and in their hearts and in their chakras. And this reflector person was just present. You know that coaches who are like really pushy and push people for their growth, and they're really like mentally or emotionally pushing. This person was just present and the presence already brought up everything, reflected everything. And this is such a blessing. You are so super powerful because of your emptiness. But not if you try to mimic a manifesting generator, because that you can't. You can never have this constant energy, access to energy and work and hustle if it's not meant to be like that. Yeah. Last advice would be picking up the thought from the beginning, why you should wait a month. Of course, you can't wait a month all the time, but with my, I hope, understandable explanation, you learned that it's about reading energies. And first of all, you can always read the energy of the now and see if it's more stimmig, meant to be to eat pasta or pizza, or none of them, because you guys normally are very healthy or should be healthy. So it's either the salad or the steak. But you can also, if you are with people, you can subtract their energy to feel if you want something else. But then there's another thought that I just had is, why do you always need to find your unique, what you want? Because I feel maybe it's not true. I'm open to hear your experiences on that. But I just had this insight that maybe reflectors are also here to really experience a lot. And if you are together, for example, with me, a manifesting generator with a emotional authority, maybe you are meant to explore how it's like being me. So if we are together, all my defined centers will flush your system and give you emotional manifesting generator energy, and we could experience things, and you can see life through my lens. And then if you meet up with this splenic projector afterwards, you can see the life through their eyes. And maybe it's also not always about subtracting everything and finding yours, but also to, like a surfer, in a multi-dimensional Mario Kart Cosmos wave surf contest where you can experience a gazillion different energies. You can jump from energy to energy, from person to person, from full moon to new moon, and embrace all those different energies and take them on as your own, knowing that those aren't yours, but you're free to experience them. And then actually it gets very philosophical, because maybe that's all life is about. You take on an identity, oneself, one energetic system, and then you experience life from that. But maybe, honestly, I don't know if I believe in reincarnation, but imagine this is the way it works. The next life you take on a completely different one. So it's and the remaining consciousness that experiences all of that is blank. So maybe that's also what you are here to experience and teach us about. Please tell me if you are a reflector and you watch this video. I don't care if you agree. I mean, I hope you agree and you got many informations that you liked, but please write your experience in the comments, because I think you guys, you always hold so much wisdom to yourself, and also you have such a unique perspective that's worth sharing. So please feel free to share. I think that's all for today. Please like and subscribe to all the things the algorithm loves. I wish you the best. See you in the next video. Bye.